lack of vision need not mean a lack of physical activity. My name is Shelley Ann Morris, and I am a triathlete. And the one thing that's different about me as a triathlete is that I am sight impaired. The only modification we have to make is that blind triathletes have to work with guides. And the way they guide us is they have a tether, and a tether is, as the name would suggest, a rope of some kind, and it's hooked between me and my guide. So when we do our swim, the tether is around our bottoms. It's a big bungee cord that hooks us together in the water. Then when we do our bike ride, we're on tandem bikes. And of course, I'm on the back and my guide is on the front as the pilot, but I have to work every bit as hard as my guide does in order to propel the bike through the course. And then when we run again as tethered. So that is really how a blind person does a triathlon. In 2010, my sister completed her first marathon during the race weekend. We have a great big race weekend here in Ottawa. And my sister completed her first marathon, and members of our family looked at me and said, "So, what are you going to do for fun?" And I thought, well, I've done a lot of different sports. Perhaps the next challenge will be triathlon. I started training in 2010 and then in the winter of 2011. And my first triathlon actually was in the long weekend in May of last year. My workout schedule is pretty intense. It's about 5 to 6 days a week of doing something. Every sport in the triathlon is challenging. In the swim, you're in open water and you're always afraid to get kicked. In the bike, while you're on a tandem bike and you trust in your guide, it's really scary, especially when you're going down those hills. The third challenge would be in the run. I just find running challenging anyways, so I really have to work on my running. I want to be a more efficient runner and a better runner, so running for me is perhaps the hardest of the three sports. The triathlon team, by the way, is now called One with One, W-O-N with O-N-E, One with One. Some of the things that I do as a volunteer with the group is I have written some articles about the team and have had a few things published about One with One and what we do. Oh, the CN Tower climb, that's, I guess, another thing that I add into my training. Every once in a while, I will train on a set of stairs just by running up and down them. The CN Tower stair climb, it's actually a really unique race that a lot of people don't know about. You see, the CN Tower has in it a great big long set of stairs, and there's 1,776 stairs in this staircase, and twice a year they open the staircase for fundraising events. And in April and October they have fundraisers, and what you do is you get sponsors and then you race up the CN Tower stairs. Now, I started doing this as part of a sisterly dare. In 1993, my sister was living in Toronto at the time, and she said, "Do you know they have this race where everybody runs up the CN Tower? I dare you to do it." So I said, "You dare me? Okay." And I did it. I started training, and in 1994, I did my first stair climb. And I was really scared. I thought this tower looked absolutely immense. I was standing at the bottom of it looking up thinking, what have I got myself into? And I climbed it and it wasn't too bad. So now I've done, I think this is either number 17 or number 18 that I'm going to do in April. And my goal is to try to do it in around 20 minutes or less. I actually have a couple of volunteer jobs. One is I'm matched with a lady who has a mental health disability, and I'm matched with her through a group called Citizen Advocacy. And my role with her is basically to be a friend, because the type of mental illness she has, she cannot easily go out, she cannot easily make friends, she cannot travel independently. And we go out shopping and run errands and do different things. And I also do a lot of volunteer work with some of the music festivals here in the city. And I also have done some things with regard to accessibility. That is, being part of a team that makes the festival more accessible to visitors and to volunteers and to everyone who has a disability. I guess the last thing I'd really like to say, and by what you've seen today in our class, there's still a lot of myth and stereotype out there that if you're blind, automatically you can't do sports or you can't be physically active. Well, after seeing tonight's class, I hope that kind of breaks that myth down, because for me and the others, although we might not see, we have arms and legs, we have lungs and good strong hearts and a willingness to participate. And a lack of vision need not mean a lack of physical activity. And nowadays there's more and more opportunities for blind and visually impaired to be as active as their sighted peers. And I'm really, really grateful that things are changing, making things better, and I'm hoping that this will continue to change and make things better for the kids that are coming behind me.